Who are the gun controllers of today? Let's start with Michael Beard. I knew little Mikey 23 years ago when he was roaming the halls of Congress as the head of NCBH, the National Coalition to Ban Handguns. Yeah, Mikey was all about banning handguns back then, which is why he couldn't muster any support from our elected officials. But before then, he was affiliated with the United Methodist Church, a huge contributor to the anti-gun movement for many years. Very little is known of those days. But as early as 1977, Mikey had a flair for the cowboy life. At least he could turn a Louis L'Amour phrase if it would get him published. In Showdown with the Gun Gang at Gun Control Corral in Business and Society Review of that year, Mikey stated that the sale of handguns is virtually unrestricted, although the handgun is the most widely used and efficient weapon for committing a crime. And he further stated that handguns are used in more than half of all murders. Wow, Mike! Virtually unrestricted? Now, this is 1977. We've had the Gun Control Act of 1968 since when? Well, let me see. Little edition. Oh, yeah, 1968. So that's 9 years with a federal law, numerous state and local laws, and handguns are virtually unrestricted? Where was I in 1977? But wait, there's more. And it's not too far off. Exactly 4 sentences later, Mike says, moreover, guns are largely ineffective for self-defense. When a confrontation does occur, very often the robber will take the gun from the victim and possibly use it against him. Hey, Mike, a little inconsistency there? Well, maybe he hoped nobody would notice, and remember, that was in 1977. Now, on June 26th of 1981, in a statement on the Second Amendment, our buddy Mike said, "You do not have a constitutional right to own a handgun." Up until this point, Mike's been pretty consistent. He hates handguns and he doesn't think anyone should own them. A little off-center at times on whether or not they're useful, but, why sweat the small stuff? In the early 80s, Mike and his group take a shift and they change their name to the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence. Now their main focus is banning so-called assault weapons and getting stronger legislation nationwide for all firearms. The change is unnoticed by quite a few, but you have to remember the tactics are evolving, and with these folks, anything goes. They realize that outright calls for banning guns gets them nowhere, so now they take on the role of an educational organization aimed at stopping gun violence. You'll also notice that nowhere do they mention stopping criminal violence, only gun violence, whatever that is. Sneaky, huh? Mike and the rest of his ilk morph into whatever they think the public will buy. I'm Van, and now you know the history of just one of the players trying to take away your rights.